Hey folks, welcome back. So this is probably August 16th, 17th, somewhere around there. I just didn't check the date today. We're gonna talk black-eyed peas because it's been an amazing experience this year, with the exception of the fact that since I didn't trellis, and I mentioned in my last garden tour, I have no idea how I was gonna get through my patches, and that is exactly turning out to be the case. So it's a bit of a mess, but I've actually harvested quite a bit. And if you have a few minutes, check out my video from, I think it was the end of June. I shot it June 20th and June 30th. 20th, I sowed my last bed. 30th, I showed all my germination. And the difference between then and now is, to my eyes, unbelievable. And actually, once again, it's a really great guide for me next year because I'm gonna know that those two dates, if I can sow somewhere around that time, call it June 15th to June 30th, I'm gonna be sitting on a gold mine of black-eyed peas going forward. All right, folks, you ready to see what I see over here now? This is the patch. It is 6 beds of black-eyed peas, 3 different varieties. I actually have one more bed. Let's take a quick step over there. You can see quite a number of pods from here. That's all Mississippi Silver. I've harvested quite a bit off that patch, and I'll probably go through there again today and get it. Though I do want to slow down my harvesting a few days, only because I do want to let a few more of those dry out on the vine so I can guarantee that I'm going to have enough seed for next year, because I really do like that variety a lot. But let's go back over to this patch, and I'm going to try to walk through, well, I can't really walk through it well. Walk around it without nudging too many of the plants behind me now, because I can feel my feet already starting to step on them. And clearly we can't see the beds at this point versus the pathways, and yes, that has been an utter disaster for me to try to walk through these, but we've got 3 beds of pigot here to the left, and on the right hand side, our first 2 beds are pink eye purple hull, and our 3rd bed in there is a mix of pink eye purple hull and Mississippi Silver, and that's only because I sowed as I had saved seed from last year, and they just kind of got grouped together best I could to fill out the space. Pigot I actually have not had to harvest yet, but you can see we've got beans. We've got plenty of pods here, but they are not nearly ready enough for me to start harvesting, though I can see some swelling up nicely. Let's see how close I can get without breaking too many plants. You can see indentation starting on there, but they're not quite ready enough for my taste. And I'm going to show you with the pink eye purple hull and the Mississippi Silver what I'm looking for on those. And we'll go ahead and we'll start harvesting them. And then I'm going to talk to you about what I've done so far as harvesting, yields I've gotten, and kind of my process beyond the harvesting of them when I get them inside. Okay, so I'm on the north side of the bed now, and I want to show a compare and contrast on Mississippi Silver because it's a bit of a trickier one to harvest for me, only because as swelled out as the pods can be, I do note that when they go from more of a, I don't want to say darker yellow because I'm kind of colorblind, but from what I'm going to say is a darker yellow to more of a lighter straw color, that's when they're most mature before they're about to kind of crest over that hill into a more dried stage. So let me see if I can dig through the patch a bit and find one that I know to my eyes looks more correct. Far be it from me to call myself an expert in black-eyed peas, but I have read that not just on the pink eye purple hull, but on other varieties, color is a good determination of how far along one is in its maturing cycle. So I've got 2 here. To my eyes, they both look really, really well swelled out, both of them. However, this one is darker, more on that, like I said, that kind of yellowy stage, whereas this one, paler, much more in the kind of straw color. And I know from my experience that this one is going to be quite a bit damper, more moist inside the bean when I actually go to harvest it, whereas this one's going to be a bit drier. Not the bean necessarily. The bean's actually going to be nice and plump, but the sort of the interior of the pod that surrounds the bean is going to be a bit drier. It's a lot easier to shell this one. It's going to zip off the pod a lot cleaner. This one, if I let it sit on the table for a few days, it gets closer to this stage, but it's just worth leaving this on the pod, on the plant for a few more days before you harvest it. This one's ready to go. We can compare and contrast that really easily to the pink eye purple hull, which has so many more, what I'm going to call distinct stages. I take that back. It has the same number of distinct stages, but how to tell them apart is a lot easier because you have the color. You've got a really nice fresh green bean there. This one's starting to get its purple coloring. This one is actually perfect. And I say that because this spine here, it's not dried yet, but the whole coloring in my eyes is purple, and this spine has gone from green to purple. What you're gonna find as you, this variety, as it goes from this multicolored green purple, it's gonna really fill out, and the last thing that's gonna turn purple is gonna be this spine underneath it. Once that goes, you're on the clock for getting off the plant before it winds up in more of a dried bean stage. But this one here, another great one. This one here is another one, but I can feel at the tip of it, it's starting to get a little leathery. So this one definitely came off at the right time. When I was looking for the Mississippi Silver, I actually stumbled upon a few here and there that did have a bit more of a crinkly on them, and the crinkling being that they've kind of passed that fresh stage and now they're really getting close to dried. All right, folks, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna crawl into that patch for a little bit, focusing mostly on the pink-eyed purple hull, because they matured faster than the Mississippi Silver and the Piggott. Piggott went in last, and I noticed that that one actually takes a few more days versus the other ones anyway, so it's definitely gonna be on the backside of my harvest, and we'll see what we pull out of the patch for the next 10-15 minutes. Kind of hot out here, really humid, so I don't want to stay out and sweat without water for too long. But for you, I will go ahead and do some harvesting. Okay folks, so that original section showing me harvesting, that was done probably about a week or so ago, not sure of the date. Today is the 26th of August, and I have since harvested over and over since then. I've got a big 5-gallon bucket, and I say big, it's a 5-gallon bucket next to me, but it is overloaded with pods right now. But before I show you the pods and sort of my sorting process, let me show you what I actually have harvested, dried physically in the house with me right now. I've got this is all the Piggott that I've actually segregated out for save seed. And I've got 2 more containers. This is my Mississippi Silver. These are my pink-eye purple hull. I should probably get more of those, even though that's probably more than enough save seed, and that's probably actually far more than I actually need of that variety. I'm thinking 3 beds of each of the 3 varieties next year for 9 beds, but I've got to do a better job of trellising. Along with that, I've also got mix and match. And now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the how and the why and all that good stuff. So when I bring in my harvest, the first thing I usually do is I take the bucket and I dump it on this table. Now I'm not gonna be able to dump this whole one on this table because there's way too much, but let's go ahead and at least get some out on the table so I can kind of show you what I do. Ugh. Okay. Making a mess. That's a start. Okay. So we've got a big old pile of these cow peas, field peas, southern pea, black-eyed peas, whatever word you want to use to describe them. Now I've got multiple varieties in here. Now as you saw, I've already probably got enough for all my save seed of next year, but if I didn't, what I would typically do is, well, I'm gonna table that for a minute. First thing I do when I get a pile like this, I start sorting by fresh versus dried. And the best way I can tell is, hear that? That's dried. Not fully dried, but dried enough to where the pods are moving inside. That's another one. This one, no sound at all. This is fresh. So what I'll do is I'll start sorting this out by fresh and dried. Now, getting back to, if I still needed to save seed, what I would do is, if I had, let's say just one variety, my pink-eye purple hull, because those are all very purple pods, very easy to see, I would sort them out by fresh and dried. Fresh, I'd go ahead and shell. Dried, I would save here for a minute, just so I can start sorting at that point. The dried that I want to save for seed, they'd be the best looking pods I have, and the dried that don't look as good, maybe smaller seeds, maybe just not as healthy for whatever reason, or I just don't want to carry that one forward, it goes into a different pile. So at that point, I would have a fresh pile, a dried for eating, and a dried for seed saving. And that's really my process. So going through these, and the other way I could tell if I'm going to do it fresh or not, one is the sound, but two, this one, for example, and all of these, they feel pliable. They have, like, you can tell there's a little bit of moisture in there. And when we crack them open, now if I leave these for a while, can they turn into dried seed? If they get far enough along, yeah, they probably could. If they're too immature, then there's no way they would do that. These actually probably could, but these are going to go into my fresh. I'll put those in a zip top bag. I've actually put 3 bags in the freezer. I need to get another one today, and they all weigh over 4 pounds. And yeah, with that, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you the spreadsheet that I've got set up that shows you how much I've harvested so far. I say harvested, actually shelled so far. It doesn't include anything that's here. This 5-gallon bucket, this pile, none of this is in there, and neither is my save seed. It's only the seed that I have that I'm going to be consuming as a meal, fresh and dried. And let me go ahead and show you that spreadsheet now, and with that, that'll be the final scene of this video. So here's a spreadsheet I put together for myself so I can track how my harvest is going of these black-eyed peas and pink eyes. As you can see, it's set up for tracking my fresh, my dried. I convert to grams, I convert to pounds, and I converted actually to how many servings that I'm going to be getting so far out of what I've done based upon 120 gram consumption. I've done that for both dried and fresh, and I upconvert the dried to show what a fresh serving would be. My annual consumption over here is an estimate based upon the fact that I eat probably 3 servings of legumes a day at 120 each. This is what I've harvested. This is a percent. So I've actually harvested 11% of my legumes already this year, with more to come. Not bad for a fun little project where most of the labor is actually spent on the couch or here in this chair shelling them out.